In the golden age of Rome, when marble cities kissed the sky and the Senate echoed with the voices of proud men, there lived a young sculptor named Maximus Aurelius. He was not born of noble blood, nor did he wear the laurel crown of a senator. But Maximus possessed something rarer than Roman gold, a heart full of fire and hands that shaped stone like poetry. His workshop stood in a narrow alley behind the Forum, overshadowed by temples and palaces. Other sculptors made statues of emperors, gods, and warriors. His statues didn't just reflect reality, they captured soul. But art was not enough in the age of power. One day, a proclamation echoed through the streets. Trumpets blared. Messengers shouted, "By order of the divine emperor Titus Severus, a grand contest of sculptors shall be held. The winner shall receive 1,000 gold denarii and eternal favor in the eyes of Rome." The prize was not just wealth, it was immortality. Maximus's heart thundered like the hooves of the chariot races. This is my chance. I shall show the world that beauty is not just in gods, but in us. The contest was to be held in the Garden of Marble, a sacred court near the Pantheon. Sculptors from all over the empire arrived, from Egypt, Gaul, Britannia. Their wagons carried gods with lion heads, emperors in battle, horses mid-gallop. But Maximus came alone, carrying a simple cart draped in cloth. As the contest began, nobles and senators strolled among the statues, whispering, "That one is carved from pure alabaster. This one bears the likeness of Mars himself." Finally, Maximus unveiled his work, a life-sized sculpture of a young Roman soldier, not in battle, but sitting on a stone, helmet beside him, weeping into his hands. His sword lay broken, his eyes were carved half open, tears frozen in marble. The crowd gasped, not out of admiration, but confusion. "Where is the glory? Where is the strength?" spat Senator Varro. "Rome is victorious, not weak." Princess Aurelia, the emperor's only daughter, stepped forward. Draped in purple and gold, her eyes rested on the statue with reverence. "This," she whispered, "is truth. This is Rome's soul." The emperor himself, seated on a high platform, watched silently. Then he spoke in a voice that rolled like thunder, "Bring the sculptor forward." Maximus stood tall before Titus Severus, though his tunic was dusty and his sandals worn. "You dare present Rome a broken soldier?" the emperor asked. Maximus bowed. "Your Grace, I do not sculpt gods, I sculpt truth. Victory is not just triumph, it is sacrifice, loss, and heartache. This soldier fought for Rome and lost more than his sword. That, too, deserves to be remembered in stone." The crowd was silent. Even the wind seemed to pause. Then came the applause, first from the princess, then from the people, then from the nobles who always followed power. Titus rose. He raised his hand, and all fell silent again. "I see now," he declared, "why the gods gave men hands to shape stone. Maximus Aurelius, sculptor of truth, you are the victor of marble." Gold rained from the balconies. Trumpets sounded. But Maximus didn't smile for wealth. He smiled because the broken soldier, his brother Lucius, who had died in battle, was now remembered forever. Months later, Maximus became the most celebrated sculptor in Rome. His studio was moved to a grand villa, and even senators waited months for a commission. But he never forgot the alley behind the Forum. There, he continued to sculpt the commoners, a fish seller laughing, two lovers sharing grapes, a blind musician playing the lyre. And often he was visited by Princess Aurelia, who removed her crown whenever she entered. "In this studio," she said, "I am not royalty. I am only a soul-seeking beauty." Whispers filled Rome, that a princess might love a sculptor, that marble might outlast even the Senate. But Maximus didn't care for power. His only desire was to sculpt what was real, what was human. In a world of stone gods and gold, he gave Rome a heart. A moral of the story: glory is fleeting, but truth lives forever in the hands of those brave enough to carve it.